If swimmers are going to be more effective with creating propulsion with their upper body in freestyle, they have to learn how to be direct. They have to learn how to set things up straight, and they need to learn how to move the arm in a relatively direct manner in order to move themselves forward. Simply telling swimmers what to do isn't going to get the job done, and a lot of drills don't allow swimmers to learn this key skill in a way that actually represents what happens during freestyle swimming. Let's solve those problems. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. And in this video, we're going to tackle better freestyle pulling, and we're going to use underwater recovery to get the job done. Now, it's important to remember that one drill is not going to solve all your problems. It's a tool as part of a big picture strategy to identify the key skills, to use the most effective strategies to improve those skills, then implement those strategies in a systematic way to create change over time. It's one piece of the puzzle, but it can be an important piece of the puzzle. Let's check out how it works. While helping swimmers go fast can sometimes be a frustrating experience, what needs to happen is usually pretty simple. If swimmers can move a lot of water, they're going to go fast. And so moving water backwards helps swimmers move forwards. The more water they can move backward, the faster they go. The more water they can move, the faster they go. The more water they move backwards, as opposed to side, up or down, the faster they go. And the faster they move water back, the faster they go. So those are the key skills that swimmers need to be able to manage. They need to be able to execute if they want to go fast. It's not complicated, but it's not easy. So swimmers need to learn to make their pulling more direct. The intention, the focus, the attempt has to be to move water backwards. Now, they're going to be side-to-side motions to set up the stroke. As the strongest muscles contract, it's going to pull the arm into the body, and they also have to learn how to transition out to the arm recovery. However, those movements are not the main event. There's going to be side-to-side motions, but what's really moving swimmers forward is pulling back. And those side-to-side motions allow swimmers to pull back more effectively, or they're a direct consequence of trying to pull back. That is the key skill we're trying to develop. So here's one of the best, making it happen. And so what you'll see is he's setting things up and he's pulling backwards. And yes, there's going to be a little bit of outward motion to set up the stroke. He's pulling back, and there's going to be a little bit of outward motion again in order to get the arm recovered through the water. However, the main focus is pulling back to move forwards. That's what he needs to do. That's what swimmers need to do. And so the more they can focus on executing that skill, setting things up, and then moving things backwards, the faster they're going to go. The first challenge is isolating the skill. When doing so, a lot of times you lose many of the essential elements of freestyle. So when that happens, if swimmers don't have the same rhythm, they don't have the same timing as what they normally would do in freestyle, well, that makes it difficult to actually learn what they need to learn. They may learn how to pull more effectively, but it's going to be very different than pulling effectively in actual freestyle. And so when isolating the skill, you lose some of the key aspects of freestyle that swimmers have to be able to take into account. They have to be able to manage when actually pulling. On the other hand, if you just have swimmers focus on the pull while swimming, it becomes difficult to create change as well. It happens really fast. Swimmers can't feel it. If they try to really emphasize and focus on what they're doing, it can disrupt the rhythm of the stroke. So what you have is a trade-off between isolation and specificity. If you isolate the skill, a lot of times you lose the essential elements of it, and so whatever they learn doesn't necessarily translate to regular freestyle. On the other hand, if you're really specific and you try to get changes in the actual stroke, it becomes very difficult to isolate the skill within the stroke, and they don't get any change at all. And so that's one of the big challenges, is that you isolate too much, you'll lose some of the essential aspects of the skill. You don't isolate enough, it's hard to target that skill at all. That happens across all strokes, and it definitely happens when trying to improve the pull in freestyle. One of my favorite solutions is underwater recovery. It allows you to simplify the stroke and keep it specific. So it's simple because the arms don't have to be recovered underwater. Swimmers can focus on just recovering straight forward and then pulling straight back. They can be patient with it. They can really ride it out, and they can wait to set up the stroke if they want, or they can kind of roll through it. And so they can work on that key skill in a much simpler situation, a much simpler environment. And that makes it a lot more likely that they're going to figure out and execute in the way that they want. What's really great about it is it allows for isolation of the skill. It's easier to perform, but It's also specific because the same basic rhythm of freestyle is still present. Recovering the arms underwater allows swimmers to focus on the pull, but the essential rhythm, the timing of the stroke, the side-to-side motion, how that works, the timing with the recoveries and the pull and the rotation, it's all basically the same. And in some cases, it can actually be improved by recovering the arms underwater. So you get the specificity, you get the isolation, and that allows the swimmers to learn the actual skill, and it makes it easier to get it to show up in regular freestyle. So that's a double win because we get what we want and we can actually make it happen with regular freestyle. So here's what it looks like. Recover the arm straight forward, recover the arm straight back, and then time that with a rotation. So really simple exercise, really simple activity, but it allows swimmers to work on that key skill of driving forward and then driving straight back and creating a lot of propulsion by being really direct. So as I mentioned earlier, any given drill is not the magic potion. It has to be used as part of a bigger strategy, a bigger system in order to create change. And so you need to challenge the drill, challenge the skills in order to get the changes that you're looking for. You can use speed, have them build, descend, have them sprint. You can use different stroke rates and stroke counts, go high stroke rates, go high stroke counts, go low stroke counts, go low stroke rates, and ask them to execute in all those situations. You can have them use resistance, really load it up, challenge them in different ways. You can use different hand postures, so closed fist, okay signs, paddles, upside down paddles, pinch paddles. They're all really effective at helping swimmers learn how to move more water more effectively in different ways. And to ensure that it shows up in freestyle, you can alternate between over-under freestyle and regular freestyle. And so over-under is when they recover one arm over, one arm under, and then tie that together so that you can get what you learned in underwater recovery and you get it to show up in regular freestyle. So again, rather than just using the drill, you want to try to challenge the drill in a lot of different ways and really train it and develop it so that swimmers can learn how to execute this skill in a lot of different situations, which makes it a lot more likely that they'll actually be able to execute it when it really matters, which is in races. So here are two sets that you can use underwater recovery for to help develop more direct freestyle pulling. So the first one's a little bit more of an endurance set. So they're going to go 425s underwater recovery with a parachute, take one less stroke per 25. Then they're going to go 400 freestyle. They got a negative split at the same stroke count. So the underwater recovery and the parachute, they get more resistance. They got to take fewer strokes. They got to get longer. They got to get more out of each stroke. Then on the 400, they got a negative split at the same stroke count. They got to be better the second half without taking more strokes. That means they have to get more out of each stroke. 425 is the same way. Now it's descend 1 to 4 at the same stroke count. So they got to create more speed with the same strokes. They got to create more propulsion with the upper body. Then 200s, same stroke count throughout, but number 2 is faster. So same idea. Then they're going to go 425s underwater recovery parachute, descend 1 to 4 to fast here. Now they got to create speed with that drill. Then 400s freestyle, descend 1 to 4 at the same stroke count. Same idea as the other swims, trying to create more speed at the same stroke count. They got to get more out of each stroke. So a simple way to use that drill to make an aerobic set, make an endurance set a little bit more effective, help them get more out of the stroke. For a speed set, we're going to go 3 rounds through, 425 minimize stroke count and time. The odds are underwater recovery, evens are freestyle. So they're going to set up the skill on the odds. They're going to make it happen on the evens. And in both cases, they're trying to be fast and efficient. 25 underwater recovery fast, see if they can see what they can put together there. And then a 25 freestyle fast, trying to just let it rip and see if they can keep everything connected, see if they can establish a great pull and then hold that and create speed. Round 1 on those 425s, they're going to go closed fist. Round 2, they're going to go upside down paddles. Round 3, they're going to go okay hands. And that's just going to help them feel the water more effectively. They're going to have to create propulsion with different hand postures. So 2 simple sets that demonstrate how to use these strategies in a systematic way to train more effectively and develop skills as opposed to just doing a couple drills. Underwater recovery can be really useful for that purpose to help swimmers learn how to create more propulsion with the upper body. If you want to learn more about how to help your swimmers create more propulsion with the upper body in freestyle, check out the video below.